please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Color Guard, advance. Color Guard, honor your colors. Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Color Guard, dismissed.
Please be seated. I want to thank Aliha, Elizabeth, Madison, Olivia, Sarah, and Zeta for leading us in the presentation of colors. These young ladies are members of several troops with the Girl Scouts of the Colonial Coast, and I think all levels of the Girl Scouts were represented. And how great was that pre-show entertainment that you had? Thanks to the Dancing Eagles and to Jordan and Christine from Soundscapes. What a great way to start a momentous day. History is being made in Newport News today. During my time as mayor, I attended countless ribbon cuttings, all of which have been very exciting. But let me tell you, I think this will probably go down as one of my favorites. To have such an incredible facility in the neighborhood where I grew up, and to share our celebration with such a distinguished crowd is more than I could have ever imagined. Allow me to introduce my colleagues on City Council. Councilwoman Sandra Cherry, Councilman Dave Jenkins, Councilwoman Sharon Scott, and Councilwoman Pat Woodbury. On behalf of the City Council and the citizens of Newport News, let me welcome you all of you here today, and introduce our special guest, Governor Ralph Northam. And First Lady Pam Northam. United States Senator Tim Kaine. United States Senator Mark Warner. Congressman Bobby Scott. We also have with us members of the Newport News Economic Development Authority, Alonzo Bell, Jr., Chair, and Gary Mentor. Additionally, we have Newport News Shipbuilding President, Jennifer Borgen, and Old Dominion University President John Broderick. And last but not least, our dedicated City Manager Cindy Roth and Director of Development Florence Kingston. And thanks to each of you for being part of this event today. Before moving on, I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge the 400th commemorative anniversary of the first African landing at Point Comfort. As many of you know, the commemoration ceremony took place at Fort Monroe earlier today, and the activities will continue throughout the weekend. But over the past few days, I have been reflecting on this pivotal time in our nation's history and the resilience of the people brought here 400 years ago. A resilience that I also see in this community. A resilience that manifests itself in the dedication and commitment of the residents of this Choice Neighborhoods community. I believe that as we open this center for opportunity and innovation, it is important that we recognize the price that was paid for us to have the freedoms and the opportunities we have today. With that being said, we are proud that so many partners have committed to this project and are dedicated to empowering our citizens and ensuring that they have opportunities, resources, and supports to be successful. The City of Newport News Shipbuilding and Old Dominion University have joined together to bring this new state-of-the-art and one-of-a-kind facility to life. This center unites unique resources and diverse partners under one roof. If you were here nearly 3 years ago when we announced this project, and at that time we called it Project Vision, I said this facility would not only contribute to the physical transformation of the Southeast community, but also have an impact on many lives. I said our young people who dreamed of learning what it takes to be an engineer, design complex ships, or other similar technical occupations would not have to look far. They would see professionals who design and build the world's greatest ships right here in their neighborhood, our neighborhood. It's no longer a vision. Virtual reality, augmented reality, 3D printing, laser cutting, and even a music recording studio are just a few of the innovations you'll find here. With innovation comes opportunity. Our workforce partners have connected the right companies and the right resources to offer guidance to anyone looking to find employment or build the skills necessary to advance. One of those companies is Bay Electric, and we are grateful to John B. Agus and Bay Electric Company for their generous contribution to support of innovation and opportunities initiatives. Even before we open the doors, people have benefited from services at Brooks Crossings. Earlier this year, we received a grant from the Commonwealth to increase workforce development activities in the city. While this program just started, it has already transformed lives. We are breaking down barriers to employment. People can come to Brooks Crossing for GED support, case management services, on-the-job training, and so much more. Newport News residents are earning industry certificates and credentials, and many are leaving this program with apprenticeships or jobs. As you know, Brooks Crossings is named for one of our city's native sons, Aaron Brooks. And while Aaron is well known for his skills on the football field, his legacy is being built here in the Southeast community. So I want to thank you, Aaron, for coming home and investing in your friends and neighbors. If you're here, please stand. An organization that is very special to this project is the Teaching Institute for Excellence in STEM, or TIES. They are the country's leading innovator in bringing STEM school design and instructional support to schools and communities. Jan Morrison and Toby Bothell with TIES have brought cutting-edge programming to Brooks Crossing. Newport News is in the forefront of STEM instruction. All of this will inspire our young people And when you add 600 engineers and designers from Newport News Shipbuilding who work here designing aircraft carriers and submarines, our young people will have countless opportunities to explore STEM. Newport News is a city where technology, innovation, research, and science intersect, a city where opportunity abounds. The workforce development initiatives and innovation taking place at this facility are critical in developing a 21st century talent pool. The investment here, as well as broader investments within the community, will help to create an ecosystem in which individuals and businesses can receive the support necessary to build a foundation for long-term success. I now have the privilege of inviting Jennifer Borkin, President of Newport News Shipbuilding, to say a few words, and I am a big fan of hers.
Good afternoon. I'm a big fan of his too, by the way, for the record. Distinguished platform guests, ladies and gentlemen, and most especially the residents of our Southeast community, your attendance here today speaks to the excitement surrounding this new state-of-the-art, only in Virginia facility. I am also very excited to be here, and I'm very excited to be joined by a number of members of Newport News Shipbuilding senior staff who collectively lead everything we do in the community, workforce development, hiring, and all of our community communications and the transformation of shipbuilding at Newport News. If you all would please just stand for a minute so that we can thank you. Like Mayor Price, of all the opportunities that the shipyard has provided me over these 30 years, there's none that I am more excited about than what we're doing here today. And this is something I am just extremely excited to be a part of. This one is near and dear to my heart because growing up, the limited exposure I had to the different career fields in STEM and the math fields made a difference to me in my life. And fortunately for me, in a neighborhood not too different than this community, my dad and parents of some of my closest friends who are engineers advised us on the path to our future. If it weren't for them, I may not be standing here today as the 20th president of Newport News Shipbuilding and the first woman to serve in that position. And being a part of Project Vision, or Brooks Crossing now, is one way that I can give back, because my story is not unique. John Witherspoon, a shipbuilder who grew up right here at 19th and Wickham, had a similar experience. John, who's joined today with members of his family, grew up hearing the sound of the shipyard whistle. But he never knew what it was or where it was coming from. He didn't know that the aircraft carriers and submarines that protect our freedom were being built just blocks from his neighborhood. And he didn't know the shipbuilding career opportunities that were available to him until he was a teenager. John describes Brooks Crossing as a beacon of hope for the residents of this community, and especially for the young children. And I agree with you, John. Brooks Crossing will be the tie that binds Newport News Shipbuilding to our Southeast community. As you heard, 600 of our employees, engineers, designers, planners, and production leaders are working in the top 3 floors here to reimagine how we design and manufacture ships. And they're leading the way into this digital age of shipbuilding. But we cannot allow that transformation to take place only on the top floors of this building. Equally as exciting, if not more, is what's happening on the first floor, which will be dedicated to introducing Southeast residents of all ages to STEM-related job opportunities. It brings STEM to them because no child should have to get on a bus to go learn these future career-changing opportunities. Brooks Crossing brings important learning opportunities to people who want to grow. And it's this kind of community outreach that defines who we are as a company. And although Newport News Shipbuilding is the largest industrial employer in Virginia, we are also a family. And frankly, this has been a very difficult week for us. I can't go on without talking about the terrible tragedy that occurred earlier this week when our fellow shipbuilder, Tim Ewing, lost his life doing a job he loved and for which he was so well known. Tim was a shipbuilder's shipbuilder. He was kind and generous both at work and in his community. And I have to say, seeing the Girl Scouts here today made me so excited because Tim was dedicated to scouting. He, in fact, worked to include girls in Eagle Scouts and give them that opportunity. And Tim's death is one of our darkest moments, yet today's ceremony fills me with hope. Tim's legacy will carry on through the ships he built and the lives he touched along the way. But today's ceremony is about the legacies yet to be written by the children of our community. Today is about their future. Brooks Crossing gives us the opportunity to grow a new generation of computer engineers, data scientists, mathematicians, and shipbuilding leaders right here in our own backyard. And who knows which one of them will be a future shipyard president. As leaders, I believe one of our top priorities is to ensure we're developing the people who will serve after us to create new legacies for our communities, our companies, and our nation. And I challenge each of us to think about how we are contributing today and about what else we can do to help shape a life and build a future. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to introduce another very important partner to Brooks Crossing Project. He's a neighbor who leads the Virginia Research University with the second largest percentage of degrees awarded in the fields of science, technology, math, and healthcare. And he is a leader I know well and a leader who cares about people. He's also another champion of innovation and an ardent promoter of women and minority students into the STEM fields. Please welcome Old Dominion University President and my very personal close friend, John Broderick.
Well, good afternoon. And there's nothing I'm going to be able to share with you that will come close to elevating the excitement that you're going to see when you go inside and you actually have the opportunity firsthand to see what young people are going to work with over the next several years. Because as Jennifer mentioned, those of us, including the governor, who talks a great deal about a tech talent pipeline, all of us know if we're going to have STEM-age students graduate on our college and university campuses, they have to have that bug hit them in 7th grade and 6th grade and 8th grade, because let's face it, nobody comes on a college campus and says, gee, I think I want to major in physics or in civil engineering. And as an English major, I can assure you I never had that problem. But Brooks Crossing is an innovation lab. It's a STEM hub for the peninsula to build synergy with regional initiatives to prepare the next generation workforce. And we all need that interest and know that interest must be triggered for young people well before college. Brooks Crossing represents a consortium of academic, not-for-profit, government, and industry organizations, including Old Dominion University, Newport News Ship, and the city. And I'm also pleased to announce today a new and significant partnership with Siemens. In this state, yes. I'm used to speaking in front of the faculty senate, so there's never any applause breaks. It's a state-of-the-art facility intended to highlight STEM curriculum, instruction, and hands-on activities for students, teachers, and employers. Selfishly, as the institution's second in Virginia in graduating STEM students, we want to open more minds at a young age to these great careers, including digital shipbuilding. The Innovation Lab will provide an open fabrication space, mixed reality area, machinery workstations, a digital recording studio, and software training associated with digital design, manufacturing, and modeling. Old Dominion through Brooks Crossing will also take the lead in establishing the Southeastern Virginia Advanced Manufacturing Association. The peninsula is home to several of these manufacturers, and Brooks Crossing represents an opportunity to establish more pipelines for workforce readiness. It's now my honor to also introduce a friend to all of you, and certainly to those of us in higher education, our former Governor and now Senator, Mark Warner.
Thank you, John. Good afternoon. First of all, for all of you who have been waiting a long time, it's all of this side of the podium's fault. We were, as the mayor mentioned, we were at the very important, very significant 400th commemoration of the first enslaved Africans coming to North America, and there were literally 18 speakers, and there was one young man who was 11, who the governor said, you know, we don't mind talking as long as Bryson's not here, because he could clean us all out. Watch out for this guy. He will be a future governor, senator, or whatever at some point. I want to very briefly, one, commend the city, the shipyard, ODU, for this kind of collaboration. This is the kind of activity that we really need. And the governor, obviously the state has been involved. I want to thank my colleagues, Bobby and Tim. There were close to $60 million in HUD federal dollars that came in 2 tranches that were involved in the project as well. I think we're looking at kind of a model for the future. 3 or 4 quick takeaways I have is, number one, even in STEM, doesn't mean that everybody needs a 4-year or advanced degree. There are literally tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, of STEM-related jobs that may simply require industry certification or community college. And making sure that we have that path that recognizes people's skills, you know, and may not all lead towards 4-year degrees, is something terribly important. Second, collaboration. Nobody is going to figure this problem out entirely. We need a lot more public-private collaboration, and from the state, the city, our universities, obviously leading employers like the shipyards, this is a model we need to see more of. Third, and this is one that is something that I've been working on, and I would hope we could see more movement, because candidly, not every company is as responsible as the shipyards or Siemens or others in terms of reinvesting in the community. And I worry in a world, my background was all in technology. And if you think, you know, we've gone through a lot of changes up until recently, wait until you see the next decade with artificial intelligence, quantum computing, a whole host of transformation that's going to change literally every job. And one of the ideas I've been working on is, you know, every employer says their most valuable asset is their people. The problem is, other than companies like the shipyards and Siemens, a lot of folks don't act on that. And I think we're going to need to make some changes both at the state level and at the federal level. Think about it for a minute. Right now, if you went out and spent $10,000 buying a robot, if you were a business investing in $10,000 in a robot that was going to eliminate 20 jobs, here's what you get. You get an R&D tax credit, which would be very beneficial. That robot would be an asset. You could put it on your balance sheet. And that robot would be something that, frankly, you wouldn't have to do much maintenance on. We give all the advantages to the machine rather than to the person. Wouldn't we ought to have a system that says an investment in human beings ought to at least be treated as well? You go out and spend that same $10,000 on people, You don't get the same tax treatment. Investing in people is not considered an asset. I think in 2019 or on a going forward basis, we need to build a tax code and an accounting system and frankly, a notion of capitalism that thinks about more than just short-term profits, but long-term value creation, so that these kind of examples don't become the exception, but become the rule. And that companies beyond leaders like the shipyards and the Siemens can be part of that kind of innovation and workforce development, and most importantly, human capital development that we need as a community, a Commonwealth, and a country. I'd love to make that happen. I now want to present to you we have done this so many times, and I got my math wrong yesterday down in Norfolk about how long Tim and I have been friends. The story is we met at law school, and we've acknowledged, and I know there are kids here in the audience, we did not meet at the library. We met 39 years ago. There is no one in all of my time in politics that I feel is a better partner, a better colleague. We try to watch out for each other. He is also relentlessly optimistic, which particularly if you work in Washington is a needed skill that I need some more of. He is also someone who brings a great passion to the questions, particularly around career and technical education, and so I know he's a big supporter of this project as well. So with no further ado, let me present to you your Senator and former Governor, Tim Kaine.
Hey guys, good afternoon. Thank you. Wow, there's so much good to say about Brooks Crossing. Mr. Mayor, as a mayor, I know what it means to have a center like this in an important neighborhood that you care about, where you can bring together a lot of resources to create employment opportunities. Jennifer, as a member of the Armed Services Committee, working every day on shipbuilding issues, I know how important it is that we have a robust shipbuilding and ship repair program for our country, and how important it is that that work be done here. But I don't want to talk to you as a mayor or senator. I want to talk to you as the son of an iron worker. My dad ran a small ironworking business in the stockyards of Kansas City. And it was 5 employees in a good year, in a bad year, and 8 in a good year, not big. Plus 3 boys and my mom. My life growing up was summer vacations, working for my dad, and holidays, and a lot of Saturdays when I had something planned, but I would feel my dad's hand on my shoulder. Hey, Tim, we got an order we got to get out. Dad, I had plans today. Son, a family business means that when there's business to be done, it's the family that has to do it. And, you know, there were times like the last day of summer vacation and things like that where I really did not want to get up and go down to the shop and work for my dad. But I came to realize later, I learned an awful lot from that experience. The same kind of encouragement that Jennifer talked about from her family and others, and not just encouragement about the importance of trades. I later was the principal of a vocational school in Honduras teaching kids to be welders and carpenters, but I learned an awful lot about the world of work that I wouldn't have known otherwise. I don't know, I was thinking recently about a time when my dad taught me an important lesson. I was assembling a table that had an angle iron frame, and you would put a glass tabletop under it, attaching it. So we had the angle iron all done. The table was about 3 foot by 4 foot. Had that all done, and I was working on trying to attach the glass tabletop under it, and I'm maneuvering, and I'm about 16, and I dropped this big 3 by 4 thing of glass. I managed to slide my foot out and catch it before it completely fell, keep it from shattering, almost cut my toe off. My dad saw me like dancing with this big piece of glass. He came out and said, "What happened?" And I said, "Well, Dad, look, I dropped it. But look, I saved it." He looked at the corner where I had caught it with my toe, and I had nicked the glass just a little bit. He goes, "Well, that glass is nicked now." I said, "Yeah, but it's angle iron. When we put it underneath the frame, nobody will know it's there." And he looked at me and said, "I'll know it's there. We got to get another piece of glass." The lessons that you learn in these work experiences are not automatic. Young people don't just automatically know to show up to work on time, or how to dress, or what it is to be a professional, or what it is to have high standards of quality.
In this building, where the education is taking place on floor 1, but young people also get to talk to the designers and the engineers and the technicians on the upper floors, they're going to understand the spectrum of what careers might be available to them, and they'll also start to get some of these lessons about what it is to be successful in the line of work. And all this will enable young people to make choices that are better for themselves. I'm thrilled to be a member of the Health and Education, it's called the HELP Committee, dealing with education in the Senate. And I look forward to being a partner with you at ODU, at the shipyard, in the city, and the other partners to do all we can to make this a success. Now, I love working on education, but I don't have chairman in front of my name. So now I want to introduce the person who, when it comes to the House of Representatives, is the person. He is the chairman of the Education and Labor Committee, who is always looking to be more and more innovative about the way we provide educational opportunities for people across all ages of life, but especially young people. Your Congressman Bobby Scott.
Thank you. You know, I'm reminded of Yogi Berra. He was a great spokesman. He got a great award one night and addressed the audience by saying, "I want to thank everyone who made tonight necessary." Thank you, Senator Kaine, for that kind introduction. We just left, it's been pointed out, the Fort Monroe ceremony recognizing the arrival of 20 and odd Africans who were the first enslaved to come to North America. That was 400 years ago. That recognition, part of the recognition was the creation of the 400 years of African American History Commission that Tim Kaine led that effort. It was his vision and leadership that made that happen. So give Tim Kaine another round of applause. Now that was history. Now we get to talk about the future. And today is a great day for the future of the City of Newport News and Hampton Roads as we celebrate Brooks Crossing, Innovation and Opportunity Center. I want to thank Aaron Brooks for his vision making this possible. This center marks a truly remarkable collaboration between the City of Newport News Shipbuilding, Old Dominion University, Newport News Economic Development Authority, and a host of other important community partners. This center will become the center of innovation for workers at the Newport News Shipyard as they work to build a business for the 21st century. Additionally, it will attract some of the best and brightest talent from all over our nation to our local community. The center will aid in our community in workforce development, job readiness, and STEM enrichment for our students. As Tim mentioned, in Congress, I chair the Committee on Education and Labor. And one of my goals is to make sure that we develop a workforce ready to meet the needs and challenges of the 21st century. One of the things that Tim on his committee, obviously Mark and others are working on, is adjusting the Pell Grant program. Right now, you only get a Pell Grant if you are in a degree granting program. There are a lot of short-term programs, and our community colleges are very adept at this, for creating short-term programs where you can get a good job. They've done studies in this. People who get those 6, 10, 12-week programs see their income go up 20, 30, 50% or more. And why can't a Pell Grant help create those opportunities? So we're going to be working on that. But the Brooks Crossing Center will aid those efforts by engaging our local students in the STEM fields, which traditionally have led to jobs that are sorely lacking in diversity. The Brooks Crossing Center will help all of our students get those good-paying jobs to the future. So again, this is a great day for our community. I can't wait to see how this will transform our area and improve the lives of citizens of Hampton Roads. And I want to thank again all of those who made today's ceremony necessary. At this time, I want to introduce a former state senator, former lieutenant governor, and now the 73rd governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia, His Excellency Ralph Northam.
All right. Well, good afternoon. I suspect you all wanted to stretch your legs a little bit anyway. Right? Anyway, we just did come from a wonderful commemoration, and I just want, for the record, the speakers were asked to stay 5 or less minutes, and I won't call any names, but not everybody stayed to less than 5 minutes. But it is good to be back here in Newport News, as I say, having raised our family in 757. It's always good to be in 757. And I know a lot of words have already been spoken, and a lot of people have been thanked, but we have to thank our Mayor McKinley Price. Thank you for your leadership, and thank you for the privilege of being here. Newport News Shipbuilding, I can't say enough about Jennifer and her leadership and what they do for Virginia, what they do for our local area, our economy, and also what they give back to our community. So Jennifer, thank you so much for your leadership. We are blessed to have such wonderful colleges and universities, community colleges in Hampton Roads. And I also consider myself a good friend of President John Broderick, but what a job he has done at Old Dominion, and I appreciate you being part of this project. And I also appreciate something that I certainly take note of, and that is your commitment to small minority and women-owned businesses. So please give John Broderick a hand. Mr. Brooks, Aaron Brooks, I'm a big fan, so I want to get your autograph after we finish, so I will be brief, but thank you for your generosity. Thank you for recognizing that our children, our students are our future, and for your graciousness to give back to your community. So please give Aaron Brooks a hand. And I think the name of this center, the Brooks Center for Innovation and Opportunity, and I want to just concentrate on the innovation. If we're going to be competitive in the 21st century, we have to encompass innovation, and that's certainly very important for this. But the other word that perhaps as important or more important is opportunity. And people ask me every day, Ralph, what do you want to do as governor of Virginia? And it's a very short and simple answer. It's all about jobs. I want all of you across Virginia to have a job that you can support yourself and your family with, no matter who you are and no matter where you are in Virginia. And so we must recognize that the jobs of the 21st century, and I say this for our students, are very different from when some of us grew up. And we've talked a lot about STEM. I add a couple letters, if that's okay. I call it STEAM-H, but science and technology, engineering, the arts, math, and healthcare. Those are where the jobs of the 21st century are. Areas like cybersecurity and shipbuilding and unmanned aerial systems and biotechnology, data collection, data analysis. We have to, in order to be competitive, train our youth for those 21st century jobs. And as Mark said, Senator Warner, my friend, who I don't remember if you went over 5 minutes or not, but anyway. But as he said, the jobs of the 21st century, we really don't look at them as white collar or blue collar anymore. They're what we call new collar jobs. And there are thousands of jobs across our Commonwealth right now that one doesn't necessarily need a 4-year college education for. So this Brooks Center for Innovation and Opportunity, I commend you for all that you do. And just to finish, I have tried, it's always difficult to thank everybody, but to all of you that are here, thank you. As we say, it takes a village, and I just am glad, I appreciate that all of you have chosen to be part of the village that will make Virginia a better place, a place for people to come and live and work, raise their families, and enjoy a wonderful quality of life. So thank you all so much for being here, and may God bless all of you. Thank you so much.
What a day for Newport News and the Commonwealth. Now, after we cut the ribbon, you'll each get to see the magic that takes place in this building. Please take some time to explore and speak to our partners. Ask questions and discover how you can get involved. Newport News Shipbuilding has set up exhibits, and their mobile experience trailer is on the other side of the building. So please try and visit them as well.
And we're hiring.
And they're hiring. I want to thank all of our partners for being here today and showcasing the important work that takes place at Brooks Crossing Innovation and Opportunity Center. And thanks also to our friends at Piggly Wiggly, for they are providing the refreshments for today's festivities. So now the ribbon cutting. And I'd like to ask all of the speakers to gather with me on the innovation area over here. I'd also like to ask the three very special people to join us to cut the ribbon. Ashley Williams, an IT asset management specialist with Newport News Shipbuilding. Also Melissa Miles. Melissa is a senior at Heritage High School. She is valedictorian of the class of 2020 and plans to continue her STEM education after graduation. And lastly, Mia Joe. She is the director of this awesome facility by way of ODU's Virginia Modeling, Analysis, and Simulation Center.